Okay, so now this is an exercise. I have this is just a little 5 by 5 inch box that I taped off here. It's important that you work on a very small canvas, or tape it off a small section. I would try and keep it uh, at the max, 5 by 5 inches here, because one, this is an exercise going to be pretty quick, but also it I really want to keep things as simple as possible, and this isn't an exercise that's about getting a lot of detail and really, fussing with the paint and everything. This is about making big marks. This is about seeing the big picture, using thick paint, and just getting an overall impression of the lemon that we're going to paint. So I'm going to start out with a small brush just to draw it in. I got a number 0 long flat. Use whatever brush you feel comfortable with. I got my palette over here. I got my colors. I got ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, cadmium lemon, titanium white. Got a little bit of linseed oil right here, paint thinner right there, and I have some paper towels that I'll be using to clean my brush after rinsing them in my paint thinner here. So I'm actually just going to take a little yellow, a little bit of the red, some paint thinner, maybe a touch of the blue. This is just to draw in. So looking at this square, first I'm just going to get the end of the orange part, which is going to be, if you look, it's not perfectly cut in half. There's more orange than blue, so I'm keeping that in mind as I just draw in this horizon. Keeping things very simple. Now I'm kind of looking at how much distance from the edge to where the lemon starts. And I'm using the version of the photo that has a filter on it to get rid of. I'm trying to draw in straight lines the best I can. I'm looking at kind of how far up I'd want to put it. Somewhere around there. Again, this isn't this the point of this exercise isn't about getting everything exactly perfect. It's going to be more about practicing value and color. With the shadow. All right, now I got to draw it in. I'm going to move to a big brush. You really want to be using a big brush here. I got a number 6. Uh, is it Filbert? Yeah. And I'm going to start with the dark. I like to work dark to light. Get some of my red, a little bit of blue. We're going to be working this darkest section, the back of the lemon. And a little bit of yellow. A little more red to it. Actually, gonna add some yellow to it. I think I just got that a little too dark. Now since we're working darks here, I'm gonna get some of my blue, some of my red, touch of yellow to saturate this purple we got here. I want to get this shadow in, a little more red. There we go. All right, now underneath the lemon on the bottom belly side of it, it's got a lot of reflected light from the orange table. Mixing up an orange, kind of starting from this other pool that I had here, so it's going to naturally be desaturated. But if you're starting fresh, just mix up your orange, desaturate it with a little blue. Again, notice how thick I'm keeping the paint here. Good way to know if your paint is thick enough is you shouldn't be able to hear it while you're mixing it on your palette or putting it on to your canvas. Go a little lighter here. Reflected light can be difficult to get the right value because it's still in the shadow, but it looks lighter, and it just might take a couple tries to get it right. Right there. There's actually kind of like right where these meet, there's like a little dark red, more of a red spot. All right. Now I'm going to start with some yellow. A little linseed oil here, get the yellow moving. It's going to vary a little bit of blue. It's going to go kind of green, touch of red. Trying to get the desaturated yellow that's right in here, kind of a shadowy yellow. It comes out there, angles down. Now I'm cleaning my brush, making sure it's good and clean. So moving to a brighter yellow, and you really want to keep the paint clean while you're getting to this part. Little touch of the red. I'm not going to worry about leaving space for the very bright highlight, so you know. Now, this yellow right here just gets slightly, very, very slightly darker, a little more red. So I'm just going to add a touch of red to it to knock the value down a little bit. See how it's just slightly different right here. So you're going to take that same color, put it here. I'm not worrying about the stem. I'll paint over that. Lighten this back up a little bit. So it gets a little lighter in the middle. Kind of curls down. Going back to this orangier color. All right, now you really want to get your brush really clean. So we're going to go to just straight yellow and white. Really want to lay this on thick. Now I'm going to take some of my blue, yellow, I'm mixing up a dark green for the stem, desaturate it with a little bit of red. I made that too big. Cut back with the orange here. Now I'm going to make a light version of that green, some white, a little bit of yellow, blue. I'm actually going to go to a small brush. I can't get a small enough mark, so I'm just going down to my number 2 or 0. Let's get this nice little mark right there. Right now, easy part, I'm going to go to that background. It's a desaturated blue, so I'm going to get a blue. Grab a little bit of red, some white, yellow. Because remember, blue's complement is orange. Orange is yellow and red. Keeping the paint thick here. Shouldn't take much time. Now I kind of painted into the lemon where I didn't want to. That happens. Just mix up whatever color you need. And fix it. Now this orange table, some yellow and some red, a little bit of white, linseed oil here. It's in this lemon, might be very hard to see, but it's there, is the yellow of the lemon is reflecting some yellow into the ground here, just like the ground's reflecting some orange up into the lemon. So I might hint at some more yellow right around here. And our light source is coming from this way, so this side is definitely going to be lighter. Coming this way. It's very, very subtle shift, but you should be aware of it and put it in the best you can. It gets a little more red over here. And in the back behind it's a little more desaturated, so I actually took some of my background color, which is a bluish color, to just desaturate this a little bit, make it sit in the back. I'm actually gonna get some really clean orange here. Just to push this. Actually, I'm gonna take a little bit of this and just a little bit into there. Now, I can get some red. Edge of this shadow. Just kind of soften edge just a little bit. Touch back in here. There you go, nice little 20-minute study of a lemon. So the key points of this is, making sure you're using thick paint the whole time, just looking at the big shapes. I'm using the reference photo that has a filter on it, getting rid of the detail. And this is, a lot of how you should be thinking when you're looking at an object, identifying what is happening. This plane is reflecting the light that's bouncing off up to here. You got the shadow, the main light source. This side's going to be a lot lighter than that side. You're taking into account, the comparison of color and value. How much darker is this than this? How much darker is this than that? Always be comparing your values.